Switch time, take one.
Are you someone who likes change or enjoys sticking to a routine?
For me, it's both. It kind of just depends on what it is.
I like to have change in my life.
I think both, but for the most part, routine.
I enjoy sticking to routine more.
I feel like I'm always like in the need of like wanting something new, and I don't like staying in the same thing because I feel like my life would get like repetitive and be boring if I don't bring change into my life.
I do like change, but there's also things that I want to keep the same, like whether that's a routine that I have or when my bedtime is. Like, I don't want to change. I like going to bed late at night. I like to do things that I like to do, but also change is more beneficial for me and just like growing myself as a person and just learning new things. So
For me, like change also brings new experiences, and sometimes I have to keep reminding myself of like, change is good. Like if this changes, then you'll have new experiences, so that's good. But for the most part, like I like to like have a routine and just have that constant, I guess.
Yeah.
What is the biggest change you've experienced in your life up to this point?
For me, it would definitely be my mom passing away when I was younger, because I wouldn't have like moved cities, and like I have like a totally different life than I did when I was a kid.
I guess just getting older. I'm not even that older, but I mean like graduating high school and just going out full-time job and just not being around friends. It's just like a whole different environment for me.
I was born and raised in Puerto Rico, and then suddenly I moved to Oklahoma. And it's a very big change, but if God has me here, then it's for a reason. So although change is like challenging, but I feel like it's been so good for me as a person. So
Yeah, for me, I would say it's going to church. Like that was the biggest change in my life, just because it's still changing my life to this day. Like I grew up in church, but I never really liked my church until I got into this new church. But I started going and I loved it. You know, it completely changed my life and changed my family. Like I'm still seeing those changes to this day, and it's been almost a year.
What did you learn about yourself through that experience?
One thing that I learned is that I'm definitely a lot stronger than I thought I was. And growing up, I think I got even more stronger, just like mentally, and like not letting people's words like get to me as much, just because of telling myself that like everything's gonna be okay, and like it is always gonna be okay.
I learned that I'm not good being alone, because since I started going to church, I had a new community, new friends, new people I could count on. And I realized that before, even though I had this community, they were not one that was for me. Even though, you know, a lot of social media or even like TV shows and stuff like that, they're always like, oh, you're better alone, you know, like you do this, you're independent. I'm not independent. Like I want my community, I want my people.
for me, I feel like I learned, and it's a reminder that I am capable. Because so many times I feel like fear, maybe like, what if I feel this when I make this change, or what if this happens? And then in the past, I'm like, well, maybe I prefer not doing it then to avoid that. But what I've learned after making this huge change is that I am capable, and those things that I feared did not happen. And that, that I am strong and I am capable.
For me, it was feeling like I could do everything. Like, oh, I'm already here, I'm killing it now, and I've got everything, this is easy. And realizing quickly like, oh, I'm failing already. I'm letting other people down. I'm not at my A game. And just whether it's at work or relationships around me, I realized that, oh, I've got a lot to learn and a lot to work on myself. And realizing, like I've said, like whether that's communication skills or just being more intentional with the relationships around me, I feel like that was just something that I needed to learn and work on.
What did you learn about other people?
When getting to know people around you, like actually getting to know them, that like you're not alone in like certain situations in your life, and like that there's always going to be people around you that relate to the things that you have going on.
That you can learn from other people's experiences, and that that other person's story has value and importance, and you actually can get something from it or learn something from it.
Yeah, I think I definitely learned that there are certain people, they come into your life for a season, you know. Some of my friends, when I started going to church, they were not supportive. They didn't like that I was changing, but some other people were super supportive. And so it's really just, some people are in your life for a season, but that doesn't mean they're not just as important or they're not just as special people.
What did you learn about God?
He was answering prayers long before I even knew I needed them. And just like whether that's opportunities I've had, friendships that I've made, and just overall like beneficial decisions in my life. And so it's crazy to see that now, thinking then that I was like, oh, I don't need prayer over this, or just like little things in life like that. And now realizing, holy cow, I'm glad I got prayed over, or I prayed over certain topics like this, and I found healing in this or found good decisions in that. So
I learned that he was always there. Like, I feel like so many times I was like, oh yeah, he's here, but he's thinking about someone else, or, you know, there's other people that need him more than I do. But no, he's always here. He's more than capable of taking care of everybody. Like,
For me, it's that everything happens for a reason, even if we don't like the outcome of some situation that may be going on, but he has a plan for our life and everyone else's life, and that it goes on.
Before experiencing a big change, what advice would you give to a younger version of yourself?
I would tell myself to not depend on materialistic things or people, but to depend on God. Yeah, people are going to support you. You know, there's things that you can hold on to, but ultimately, like, you just need to trust him.
stay intentional with those around you. I feel like during my change, it was just, oh, now I'm on my own kind of thing. Like I had people around me, but I also felt so disconnected from them just because I wasn't putting in steps to be more intentional with those around me, whether that's even just family at that too. And so I would go back and tell them.
That you may feel different things, but to have God be the anchor and not let the emotions or like what you're feeling in the moment cloud your view.
The next time you face change, what's something you want to try based on this conversation?
Be more intentional with my praying over that. Like, if I know that there's a big change coming, I could say, like, I'm gonna pray over this because I know that there is healing in this. I felt the power of prayer, so let me pray over this situation.
I think for me it would be just to trust him more. Like, I do trust him, but just to really keep that in my head, keep telling myself, like, he has a reason for this. Like, it'll be okay. Like, you got this. He's here with you. Just keep reminding myself that. Trust in him, because he'll lead the way. Like, he'll be okay.
To think that he is provider and he has provided everything that I needed, would it be like physically, emotionally, he'll provide that. If, like, whenever there's a new change, he'll be provider.